Well, we're live here and there's nobody on the channel yet, but just wanted to reach out and see how people's week have been. We'll give it a few minutes, see if anybody joins. This was pulled together last minute, so I'm not sure how many people know about it. We're just sort of watching the chat line and wanted to just touch base with people. Oh, I can hear myself. Sorry, we mute there. It's been an interesting week. It's been a challenging week, a lot of changes. And I talked in last week's Monday Motivation about surfing. That's an analogy that I quite like. When I went surfing, one thing I did learn, my surfing skills wasn't one of them, but one thing that I did learn was that when the surfer's out there and he paddles out and he's just sort of floating there, bobbing and waiting and waiting, and he sees this big wave coming, what he does is he doesn't fight the wave. There's no way. The power behind those waves, you see people get knocked over by them and sucked in by them. The power of those waves, there's no way he's going to fight that wave. And then, so one option, we can fight it, but he's not going to win. If he panics when he sees that wave coming, then he's just going to be overcome by the wave and will probably drown. So he can't fight it. Panic does no good. That surfer does is he sees that wave and he uses this as his skill and he catches the wave and he rides that wave into shore. What we're seeing right now is a wave that we can't fight it. We can't fight this wave. If we panic, we start to make stupid and irrational decisions. We see people doing that. But the best option is, and what the surfer does, is he rides that wave. So we need to catch that wave and we just need to ride it through. And it might be another 2 weeks, might be another 4 weeks, 6 weeks, but we just need to ride it through. So I just wanted to encourage people that it's tough times, it's challenging times for those who are impacted financially. It's going to be quite a challenge. So don't panic though, but ride that wave. Find other sources of income. If you have to dip into your savings a bit, hopefully you have good money management is to have some savings set aside for when emergencies happen. If you don't have that fund, you're going to have to cut back in certain areas. But ride the wave. You don't need to panic. Also, in this time, there are a lot of people, there are people in quarantine. Maybe they need groceries picked up and just dropped on their doorstep. There's people who are suffering financially. Maybe we can help them out with make a meal or two, or what can we help those of us who aren't in quarantine? Take good preventative measures, be careful, be reasonable, but you don't need to panic. And what can you do to help the people that are in quarantine? So I just want to come online, if anybody's here, and just encourage you to stay strong, to be reasonable, to not panic, and to adapt, to ride this wave till it brings you into shore. What are some of the ways people are adapting? I've seen people do exercise challenges. I see a lot of people online doing different things. A lot of time watching movies, social media. But how about reading a book? Lots of us have books that we want to read and we've never managed to get there. How about that project, that hobby, that painting that you wanted to do? There's lots of things we can do during this time. If you've got a family at home and young kids, it's a great time to spend some bonding time, some quality time with the family. Outside, it's beautiful out, go for walks, go for bike rides. So there's lots of things we can do to adapt. And I'd encourage you, look at ways to adapt, share them in the comments for this video. If you need somebody to talk to, reach out to a friend, reach out to a pastor, reach out to anybody who is close and trusted. If you don't have anybody in a close circle of friends, we've got to leave a comment here or use our feedback form. We're here, we'd love to chat, we'd love to help you in any way possible. That's what we're here to do. Remember when I started Monday Motivation, I said we strive to survive. Well, this is again one of those times that we might find ourselves striving, but we don't want to stay there. So what do we need to do? Who do you need to reach out to? What changes do you need to make so that we can move from strive to thrive? So we use this time to our advantage. I've had to make a lot of adjustments. I do some speaking, that's been canceled. I do a lot of live production work, sound, lighting, video work for events. That's all been canceled for this foreseeable future. So how did I adapt? Well, what I'm doing is I'm starting to market the video broadcasting side. So these events that have been canceled and businesses that need to hold conferences or meetings, we can do it by camera and by live stream, which we're using here, or YouTube, or if it's a conference, we use Zoom for that. So our business has adapted so that we are now in this new temporary, but this new climate, we can continue to function. And even personally, we've cut back on some things. We don't go out as much. We don't eat out. We have lots of food in the house, so we're lucky that way. So there's ways you have to adapt and things that have to change. And for those of us who don't like change, that can be difficult. But panic and worry, that is even worse. You have to adjust, you have to learn to adapt to the change. I've always said that we manage what is under our control, but the things that are beyond our control, well, what do? We trust God and we pray. God is there for us. He's on our side. If we're His children, He's there for us, and He's got our back. So at the end of the day, everything's going to work out according to His plan, but we have to have faith, we have to trust. So use this time to spend some more time in prayer, Bible study, get into the Word. God uses difficult times to grow us, and I'm actually going to talk about some examples and on our next Monday Motivation about that. So be strong, be encouraged, and take heart. God knows what He's doing. He wasn't surprised by this. He's not in panic mode. Neither do we need to be. Make good choices, use wisdom, and continue. Don't strive, but let's move to a position of thrive. Just seeing where we're at here. With the Vimeo platform, it will also simultaneously broadcast to YouTube and Facebook. So I'm trying to see if that part is working. But that means then that I'd have to monitor those for any comments. And I don't see any here, but was just curious how that would work. One of my clients is a church, and they meet in a school. They don't have internet access. Excuse me. They don't have internet access, but then their venue's been canceled anyways, so because the schools are closed here. So again, this is an example of adapting. What they did is they pre-record the worship service, and then we go to somebody's house where they have good internet and enough room to work, and the pastor preaches the opening, and then we insert the worship, and then the preaching, and then the closing, but it's all done by live stream. So this way they can still connect with people. It was all brought together in 3 days, and we pulled it off. It wasn't perfect, but it worked quite well for a 3-day exercise. It was totally brand new to them, but our company stepped through it, and it worked quite well. But that's again an example of how we adapt. They couldn't meet, so rather than giving up, they did an alternate route. And it's great that we have all this technology available to us. It's great that I can come to you by technology. And it's great that way, things that we didn't have in the past. But even for older people, they still have a phone. You can phone them, give them a call once a day, once every couple of days. How you doing? My mom lives in our basement. She's had friends calling on her, and that's great. So I'd encourage you to continue to be engaged with people. We're isolated, but in this world, we're still connected electronically. Let's use that to our advantage. Well, I think I'm going to wrap this up. I just want to share that encouragement with you. I'm here. You can reach me through the contact form. Our website is monday-motivation.ca. monday-motivation.ca. There's a feedback form there. You can leave comments on our Facebook page. We'd like to get you on our mailing list. Sometimes social media doesn't always deliver the material that we have. So to get on our mailing list, get in your mailbox. You can do that on our website again, monday-motivation.ca, and then our weekly webcasts will show up right in your mailbox. Well, have a great weekend. Spend time with the family. Do something that you normally wouldn't have time to do, and let's ride this wave together. Thanks. Have a great day.